Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to download a code editor that we'll be using in this project, and we're going to look at the folder structure, how it actually set up the project when we created it in the last video. We're going to be using Visual Studio Code. You can search that in your favorite search engine. When you get there, go ahead and click on it, or I have it linked in the description below. You can click on it there if you'd like. If you're on Windows, you can click this download for Windows. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can click on this other platforms here. I have used it for Linux successfully. Works fine there as well. So go ahead and download that. When you're done, go to where the folder lives when you created the project in the last video. Go inside that folder. You'll see all the files for the project. There's a couple of different ways to open this. One way in Windows is if you right click, you go to show more options. There should be this open with code. You can also get there if you hold shift and right click. If this works on Windows, this also works. The next way to do this works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you can type code space period. This basically says, hey, Visual Studio Code, open the current folder, please. And it will do so. You should see it pop up on your screen. Now, I believe this starts out on the left side here. I like it on the right side better. So I right click on the sidebar with the mouse and I say move primary sidebar right. You can keep it on whichever side you like more. Notice that it has the Explorer open. You can left click any of these options here and you can see what they do. We're only going to be using two of these today. Explorer shows you your files and allows you to navigate your files and everything. Also, this extensions tab. Let's go ahead and type view in the search from the extensions tab. We're going to need view official. Notice the creator is view here. That is the correct one. Two more that will be also, I guess I forgot to mention the button here. It should say install. Go ahead and click install. The next one is ESLint. Go ahead and click that install button, same as you did before. And the third one will be prettier, if I can type it correctly. All right, so go ahead and install this one as well. When you have all three of those installed, you can exit out of that screen, go back to your Explorer. And we're going to be looking at basically four main files here and talking about the folder structure just a little bit today. In the main directory of the entire project, or the root of the project, we're going to be checking out this package.json file. Now, this package.json file holds the dependencies that we want npm to install when we run npm install. So it looks in here, in the dependencies, and in the dev dependencies. It says, are there any dependencies that we need to install from here that we haven't already installed, or any newer versions of the libraries that we have installed? And if it finds any, installs them, and it installs them into this node modules folder right here. The other noteworthy thing in the package.json file is a script section. So when we ran npm run dev to run the actual project last video, it found that dev key under the script section and it matched it. It said, okay, so I will run this feat command. And that's actually how it works behind the scenes. When you do npm run, it looks in the script section here. So the other thing to note in the root directory is this index.html file. Notice that in this script tag down here in the body, it actually references the main.ts file. Well, that lives in the source folder along with all the other view files. And if we look in here in that main.ts file that's in the source folder, we actually use Vue's create app function and pass it this app object here, and we'll get into what that is, to actually mount that Vue app and create it when we run the project. So this app component right here is actually this file here, which is app.vue. We're not going to get into the single file components today. We will do that next video. We're going to talk about how they're broken down and everything. But I kind of wanted to show how the index has the main TS referenced, and then the main.ts has the app.view file referenced. So in the future, it's not a big mystery as to how it's getting these things set up and running them for us in the future. The assets folder here, you'll notice it has CSS files and images, and the components folder, which we will add in the future components to, holds your view components. Those really the main things in the project that you need to be familiar with. A lot of the rest of this is configuration files. Like we're not going to mess with the tsconfig file. That's for TypeScript, or the vite.config.ts. That's for Vite to use. We may eventually make some changes to vite.config much later down the road if we need to do that, if the project calls for it. But right now, you don't need to really dig into these files. There's also a README file, which it kind of breaks down some stuff too for you, and you can read further. It's kind of pretty simple what we already did, and all that. So that is the basic structure. Next video, we're actually going to go into single file components and show the main structure in single file components and how those are broken down so we can understand those. Then after that, we're going to start editing and adding code to our project. I really appreciate everybody joining me. If you like, go ahead and like and subscribe the video, and I will see you for the next video.